Greetings everyone, welcome back to the channel. First of all, thank you for being here. I know I don't upload here very often and I apologize for the posting cadence that this channel has had. But at least this time it's for a good reason. For the past few months, I've been working on a project that I hope will help you and a lot of other people. And I wanted to announce it here first because I feel like you guys are like my people, you know, my fans beyond ATA. And I sincerely appreciate your viewership in particular. You guys support me beyond the main channel and that means the world to me. But let me back up a bit. So from the very beginning of starting ATA, my email inbox has been full of people asking me where they can learn their rights and learn more about the law and civilian rights in general. The problem is that I never really had a good resource to point these people to. I mean, all the laws and case laws and all the stuff that you need to learn is available online for free. So all I could really do was be like, you know, here are some websites, start reading and just have them learn this stuff basically the same way I did, by just like trudging through tons of documents and reading and just wrapping your head around all of it. I mean, to my knowledge, there's never really been a good solid resource that kind of covers every aspect of what you should do when you interact with the police. And I needed something like that to point these people to. So I made one. This is the Civilian Rights Hand Guide. Well, it's a proof copy of it anyway. Yours won't have this not for resale bar across it, but you get the idea. I wrote a book. This book is meant to cover everything that the average citizen might need to know about interacting with the police. It covers the A to Z of police interactions and teaches you everything that like you wish school would have taught you about this stuff. This book is basically like every episode of ATA condensed into one resource. And this isn't some bloated pamphlet. This is a book that literally took years off of my life to write. I mean, look, just there's pages, pages, and pages. I mean, this thing, it's a lot. This thing has basically consumed my life for the past several months. And I'm so happy to report that it's finally done. And I want to clarify a few things about this book. Not only did I write this book, but I also learned how to use InDesign so that I could format how the inside of this book looks. I started a publishing company so that I could publish this book. I went through multiple rounds of editing with attorneys, so you know how that goes, and I designed the cover. I also had to find someone to write a blurb about me, which was a weird experience, not to mention learning the Amazon KDP dashboard and just the whole industry of self-publishing. I had to get ISBNs and copyrights and just do all this stuff that you don't really think about doing when you set out to write a book. So needless to say, this took a lot of time. I actually originally wrote the outline for this book back in 2020, but I just never had the time to actually get started on the project. And I wrote what would eventually become the third chapter of this book back in 2022, but again, just kind of like set it aside because I got busy with the main channel. But in the last few months, I picked it back up again and just really buckled down to get it finished. And I gotta say, it's pretty incredible to see it done, to see it be like a real thing. You know, I wrote a book, a good book, hopefully, but that's kind of for you to decide. Now look, this book might not be for you, you know? Maybe you've watched every episode of ATA and you've memorized them all and you know exactly everything that's in this book. But does your brother or your mother or your sister or your dad or your cousin or your best friend, This is a great way to introduce people to the idea of civilian rights without having to subject them to binge watching hours of body camera footage like we all like to do. And I believe there's a good chance that you'll learn a lot from this book, even if you've watched a lot of the episodes of ATA. Just having it condensed down into a book format makes it a lot more easy to consume and digest and memorize. I really did try to leave like no stone unturned when it came to discussing the topics that I think people would most likely encounter in everyday police interactions. I mean, I really wanted to make this book a one-stop resource for anyone who wants to learn about this stuff. So hopefully this book can be just kind of like one step in your foundation of knowledge that you build around this topic and you practice through patience and diligence. It's the kind of book that you keep around so that you can reference in case you forgot something or that you need to remember something in particular. I mean, the hard truth is that police officers at least enjoy a few months of training on all this stuff, whereas your average citizen never gets trained about how to interact with the police. You know, there's no training program for citizens who want to learn about their rights outside of like, you know, becoming a lawyer. So this book is supposed to be a bridge in the gap of all that knowledge and kind of take all the legal jargon and make it digestible and interesting to read. So I tried to make this book as fun and interesting to read as I possibly could without leaving out any of the important concepts that I think the average person should be aware of. This is a dense book, but it's not difficult to read, if that makes any sense. Which is why it would make a perfect gift this holiday season, if you know what I'm saying. I mean, if you've ever wanted to give someone the gift of the knowledge that you've learned through watching hundreds of hours of episodes of ATA without having them have to do it, well, this is it right here, baby. But seriously, I wanted to make something that was useful to you and that you would be proud to have on your bookshelf. I don't want to be another YouTuber who just sees their viewership as a revenue stream. So I put a lot of time and effort into something that hopefully stands on its own merits outside of the platform that I have. And of course, you'll be the judge of that. And I wanted to have full control over every aspect of this process so that I could really make this thing what I had envisioned it to be. And that's what motivated me to go the self-publishing route instead of like taking a traditional publishing deal. Honestly, I'm really happy with the final product and I really think that it'll help some people out there. Oh, and there is a long-term goal here too. If this book does well, then I would like to write another one that's more tailored to like the First Amendment auditor or just constitutional activists in general. This book is more for the everyday citizen and everyday police interactions. But it would be cool to make a book that was tailored more towards like people who wanted to get involved in the police activism community. And then I'd love to make it a 3-part series and make a book for law enforcement officers about all the things that they don't get taught in the academy and how to foster good community relationships and deal with First Amendment auditors. But this is all just kind of like daydreaming at this point. Writing this book was really freaking hard and it would have to do really well to motivate me enough to want to write another one. I mean, I'm just taking a gamble on writing a book here anyway. I don't know how you guys will respond to this and if this is something you're even interested in. I just think a book is like the best way to give you something in return for your support for me. Either way, whether this book does well or not, I'm actually happy to have just gotten this down all into one resource for anyone out there to access. It always feels good to see a long, hard project like this through to the end. If you are interested in picking up a copy for yourself, of course, you can find a link down below. It will be sold exclusively on Amazon, and you can get a paperback like this one or a hardcover. And there will probably be a digital version available at some point, but not right now. If you could take the time to give the book a good rating on Amazon, that would really help it grow and reach new people. It would be so cool if we could get it on a bestseller list for some kind of category on Amazon. Then I could go around telling people that I have a bestseller book. Oh, and also I'm going to be giving away 10 free copies of this book, including this copy. This is a special copy that actually has like all of my error notes and corrections that needed to be made once we got to the print version. It's kind of crazy to get all the way to like a printed preview copy and still have corrections that need to be made. I'm not sure if anyone would even really want this, but I like to own unique things from authors and other print media, so I thought that, you know, maybe someone out there would appreciate this copy of the book. I literally went through each page of this book word by word and checked off or X'd out each page that was good or bad. And the winner of this copy will also receive a regular copy of the book as well, so they can kind of compare and contrast like the final version versus like the preview version. This copy is already signed, but if you win the giveaway and you would like your copy of the book signed, then just let me know and I'll do that before I mail it out to you. All you have to do to enter the giveaway is comment on this video. You don't even have to be subscribed if you don't want to be, but you know, it'd be cool if you were. In a week from this video's release, I'll use a site that picks people from the comments section randomly to choose the winners. But for the special copy, I'll just take whatever the most upvoted comment on this video is, no matter what it is, and they'll be the winner for that. I'll reply to the comments of the winners who are selected, so be sure to keep an eye on your YouTube notifications or check back on this video in a week or so, and just look out for my reply. But anyway, thank you for the opportunity to do something like this. I don't think I ever would have been motivated to get something like this completed without the support of an awesome community like you guys. Well, that's all I got for you. That's the big news. I wrote a book, boys. And if you want to pick it up, you can find it in the link in the description. I'll be talking about this on the ATA channel pretty soon. So hop in, get yourself a fresh copy before the crowd gets in on it. Thank you again for your support and for taking the time to watch this video and hopefully buy my book. We'll see you in the next one. Cheers.